They vanished into the fog. The Alcatraz escape, nobody talks. About everyone knows about the 1962 Alcatraz escape. The raincoat raft. The dummy heads. Frank Morris. But 25 years before that, on a day so foggy that guards on the watchtower could not see their own hands in front of their faces, two men walked out of the most secure prison in America and were never seen again. Not a single body was ever found, and nobody has ever been able to prove they died. Ted Cole was 25 years old and had been nicknamed Teddy the Terror by Oklahoma newspapers. He had committed his first armed robbery at 14. He had been sentenced to death in the electric chair, saved only by his mother's appeal to the courts. He had already escaped from prison once before Alcatraz, hiding himself inside a laundry bag, loaded onto a truck, and walking out the front gate. By the time he arrived at Alcatraz in 1935, he had a kidnapping conviction, a murder charge that ended in a hung jury, and a 50-year sentence hanging over him. When he stepped off the prison ferry onto the rock for the first time, he reportedly looked around and said, "Don't think I like it here. Doubt I'll stay long." Ralph Rowe was 31 years old, quieter, and described by prison staff as a likable individual with good intelligence. He had robbed banks across Oklahoma alongside the infamous outlaw Wilbur Underhill. He had survived a federal shootout that killed his partner and badly wounded his own girlfriend. He was serving 99 years. He had absolutely nothing to lose. Both men were assigned to the Model Industries building on the northern edge of Alcatraz Island, a facility where prison labor processed discarded vehicle tires into rubber mats for the United States Navy. It was one of the closest buildings to the water on the entire island. They noticed something the prison architects had missed. The flat iron bars on the windows of the mat shop were not tool-proof. Over the following weeks and months, working in short intervals whenever the supervising officer left the shop to check the other rooms, which happened on a rotation every 30 minutes, Cole and Rowe sawed through the bars using hacksaw blades. They concealed their progress each time by packing the cuts with axle grease and shoe polish so the damage was invisible during inspections. On the morning of December 16, 1937, the weather delivered them exactly what they needed. A dense fog rolled across San Francisco Bay, so thick that the official prison records later described it as reducing visibility to near zero on the island. Coast Guard boats responding to the alarm by radio that afternoon could not be seen by the guards on shore even when they pulled within a few yards of the island. At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a routine head count confirmed both men present in the mat shop. The supervising officer, Joseph Steer, left to check the other shops. Sometime in the next 30 minutes, Cole and Rowe sawed through the bars completely, punched out the glass pane, squeezed through a hole 8 3/4 inches high and 18 inches wide, climbed through the window, used a stolen wrench to break the lock on a high wire fence, dropped to a rock ledge below, and entered the water of San Francisco Bay. The 1:30 head count came. Both men were gone. The warden at the time, James A. Johnston, told the press that afternoon it was highly improbable they could have survived the swim. The bay currents that day were described in official records as especially fast and strong due to the storm conditions. The water temperature in December in San Francisco Bay hovers around 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Hypothermia at that temperature can incapacitate a swimmer in under 30 minutes. The official position of the United States Bureau of Prisons to this day lists Theodore Cole and Ralph Rowe as missing, presumed dead. But their bodies were never found. Not then. Not ever. And 18 months after the escape, FBI agents were making quiet inquiries in Seminole, Oklahoma, Cole's home territory, asking questions about the two men. Local police in that area had linked Ralph Rowe's name to an active highway hijacking spree around the towns of Tecumseh and Shawnee. The Seminole Producer newspaper reported in June 1939 that officers seemed to be deliberately taking their time identifying the suspects. Former Alcatraz inmate Carl Janaway later claimed in a documented account that Cole had made it to dry land without side help, and that Cole and a woman known as the Blonde Bandit of the Ozarks had fled together toward South America. None of it was ever confirmed. None of it was ever disproved. Theodore Cole and Ralph Rowe became the first two men in history to get off Alcatraz Island and leave no proof of what happened next. The prison that the United States government called escape-proof was forced to confront the fact that two Oklahoma bank robbers had walked through its walls and into a fog so thick nobody could follow them. Did they drown in that bay, or did the fog save them? Drop your theory in the comments right now. If you want more dark truth from inside the walls, hit the like button, share this with someone who thinks they know Alcatraz, and subscribe. New cases every single week. And the truth is always darker than what you were told.